Welcome back, everybody, to Ready, Set, Rewatch. We're still on our break from Star Trek The Original Series, so let's talk about Tron Legacy. We just talked about Tron last time. Daniel, do you still fight for the users?
I do. I definitely fight for the users.
Before we get into everything, what is your first baseline thoughts of this movie?
I still really like it. Actually, I think it got I know for a fact that it got worse reviews. I think it's got some definite problems, and
hmm
we'll talk about all of
hmm
those. I still kind of
hmm
enjoy it. I think it's still pretty good.
Yeah, did you see this one in theaters when it came out?
No, I've never seen any Tron movie before ever.
Oh, I did see this one in theaters. And this was during the heyday of every movie has to be in 3D.
Oh, so you watched it in 3D? How did that
I
work?
think I think we did see it in 3D because it was like the only Showtime available while we were there, and so we had to pay like an extra $1,000 so we can watch it in 3D or whatever it was. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. I can see why you would think it would, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just like not big on 3D in general. I'm
Yeah,
sure there's
I
people that like, oh, I saw Avatar in 3D on the biggest screen, and it was the greatest thing in my life. And it's just like I don't care. I don't need it to be in 3D.
yeah, I think about it in the same boat as that with you. Is it's just not 3D's never been something where I was like really all that invested in it. I know there's some people who still to this day are like, it's the best. We got to do more 3D, but I was done with it almost immediately.
I'm glad
So
it's gone for the most part. I'm sure it still happens somewhere.
yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Anyways, getting into the making of Tron Legacy. So obviously, after Tron became a cult classic, we talked about last time how it made good money, but they still deemed it a financial disappointment. But it made so much like merchandise sales, and then obviously the game was super successful. So for a long time, a sequel to Tron was like something that would always kind of come up, and they were like, "Oh, should we do this? Maybe." There was speculation around 1999 that Pixar had interest of doing a Tron sequel.
Oh, like an animated one?
I can only assume so. That would have been after Toy Story. Toy Story was 1995. Then I think Bug's Life was before 99 as well. And I think Toy Story 2 was two. I don't remember. I don't remember when Toy Story 2 came out. But yeah, so like you would think like animation was their wheelhouse. Maybe they were planning some sort of journey to the grid in animation, but obviously nothing came of that. Rumors started swelling again for a sequel to Tron because there was renewed interest in the IP after the release of the 2003 video game Tron 2.0. I've
Huh.
never heard of this. Have you?
Nope.
Okay. Plans didn't come together until around 2005. They eventually brought director Joseph Kosinski on board, who, if that name sounds familiar to anyone out there at all, it's because he's making huge waves now. Because this year he directed F1. A few years ago he directed Top Gun Maverick.
Hmm.
This was his first like feature movie. He'd done like commercials and maybe like a music video before this.
Interesting. I don't know that
Isn't
I
that crazy?
see too much of the like Top Gun DNA in here. Maybe a little bit.
I didn't remember that he had done that. And he also directed the 2013 sci-fi movie Oblivion. I've never seen that, but apparently he like worked on the graphic novel that's based on.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I should watch that movie. Turns out, but we're not talking about Oblivion. We're talking about. Um.
John.
So yeah, when Joseph Kosinski came on board around 2007, they released a teaser trailer. Actually, they released a teaser trailer at the 2008 Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, and it was at that point. You'll love this. They were calling it TR2N, Tratuin.
Okay. That doesn't
Would you
even
have
look
seen
like.
Tratuin?
I mean, I didn't see this one, but no,
You wouldn't like to go watch Tratuin in theaters in 3D?
probably not.
That's a shame.
I mean, where was I 2008? Like middle school still? No, probably not.
Well, yeah, I mean, 2000. Yeah, so they announced that 2008, and then eventually it became Tron Legacy, and this came out 2011.
Okay, so we
So
are sophomores in high school.
yes,
I might have seen it in high school. I didn't, but I
Tratuin.
might have seen it in high school.
Well, unfortunately, now you can't because Tratuin doesn't exist. I kind of wish it
Ah,
did. Yeah, I watched the making of documentary for this as I did with the first one. Honestly, there's less to say. With the first one, it was very much like some creative heads were like, "Let's do this," and then Disney, I don't think, really knew what they had,
hmm.
and then they just kind of like, "Oh, this is something, uh, one way or another, kind of spectacular." So that's why that making of was kind of interesting. This one had a lot of like, well, we got Jeff Bridges back because he's great, and then everyone talks about how cool Jeff Bridges is, which he is,
I mean, he is, yeah.
and then they were like, and Olivia Wilde, she's so cool, and then she's all giggly on set, and that was like most of the making of. Like, look how great and how much fun we're having. It's like, yeah, that's neat to see. I really the only interesting thing that I took away from the making of that I watched was there's a shocking amount of practical sets that they built for this. Obviously, there's a lot of digital landscaping work, but there's
Sure.
certain like we'll get into it as we talk about the movie. But like he's on a street, a city street in the grid, and he's like standing on a big like octagon panel, and it's because they made that street. It looks like,
Huh. That's really
yeah, isn't
cool.
that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's really all I have for the making of this time around. But so if we get into the money of the movie,
The
so
money.
the budget of this one was $170 million. The opening weekend in North America, it made 43.6 million, and overseas it made 23 million.
So not
Total.
great.
That's just opening weekend. Total worldwide box office by the end of its run, it made about $409.9 million.
Okay, so it made its money back. It did fine.
So yeah, so even if you were like round up to, the multiply the stated budget to account for marketing, which this was marketed pretty heavy, if I remember correctly, back in high school. It definitely made its money back, but it's in one of those situations where like, were they disappointed in it because it didn't make all the money it needed to like fund a sequel, right?
Yeah, I guess they must have been because we're only just now getting the third one. Like Tron has
Mm.
such a weird
And again,
legacy, ironically,
oh,
of having like so much time between the movies. So I guess
calling it now. This next one has to flatline at the box office too. I mean, I think it'll again make its money back because both the other have so far, but like
yeah.
they're gonna deem it a disappointment.
Well,
But
obviously
this is
we're
what
going
we
to go
do with
see it,
Tron.
and I wouldn't have seen it if we weren't doing this. So we're
Yay!
adding to the problem, if anything.
Yay! We're giving money directly to Jared Leto.
Oh
Whoops.
no! Oh no!
So yeah, so it did. The film did meet its opening weekend projections. They were assuming around $40 to $50 million, so they were right there with the 43 that it got. Kind of a reason that it was blamed for not like holding its own weight at the box office was that, as you'd imagine, with a lot of science fiction, I guess, especially of the time, they said it primarily appealed to men and it didn't reach the women audience. It was just like a little too niche, and so like
Sure.
15-year-old me went to go see it, but you're not getting the families to go see it, I guess.
I mean, that makes sense. There's only what two women in the entire movie, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sounds about right. Unfortunately,
It was also kind of deemed as being overhyped by Tron fanboys. All the people that bought the merchandise and played the games, they were obviously super hyped for it, and that just didn't carry
mm.
to a wider market, I guess. But hey, jokes on them. We're getting a third one anyways. So let's talk about critics. Roger Ebert, yes, he was still alive and reviewing movies in 2011.
Whoa!
He gave the film. So remember, he gave the last one. He and Gene, I think, both gave it 4 because that's their system. This one time around, Roger gave it a 3 out of 4,
Not bad.
and he said, "quote The environment was aesthetically pleasing, and added that its score displayed an electronic force that complemented the visuals."
Yeah.
Notice he didn't say anything about the story. He
No.
was just like, the vibes and music are cool.
Yeah. That's about right. I mean, the first one, to be fair, didn't really have much of a story, so
Yeah, I guess all it
yeah,
really needed back then was just
cool
to
stuff.
be kind of anti-fascist in its nature.
Hmm.
That's really what the story there coasted on. And I guess this does do not really. The fascism doesn't
Yeah,
really carry over here. It's more just like general political no goodness.
I would say it's like anti-corporation.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I guess it adapted to the times.
yep. And now, in the time of the third one coming out, those two things might be kind of the same thing.
Hmm. So there was a review from Variety that said the visuals and accompanied cutting-edge score made for a stunning virtual ride. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Nice. We love a virtual ride.
There were some not so positive critics, though. The New York Times wrote the vibrating kaleidoscopic colors that gave the first movie its visual punch have been replaced by a monotonous palette of glassy black and blue and sunbursts of orange and yellow. I
Yeah,
think that's kind of true.
yeah, I agree with that for sure. Yeah.
They definitely muted certain things. I did make a note of that specifically when we get to the light cycles, where it's like this is not as blue as I would like it to be.
Hmm.
Referring to the story, a writer from the New Yorker said Disney may be looking for a merchandising bonanza with this long gestating sequel to the groundbreaking 1982 film, but someone in the corporate offices forgot to add any human interest to its action-heavy script. I
I
mean,
think it's a little harsh, but I don't completely
yeah,
disagree.
there's father and son stuff. It's just, I guess if you don't care about that, then whoops.
Yeah,
Um, as per as for performances, the critics were kind of split here on the main cast. I mean, everyone loves Jeff Bridges, sure,
he's
but when it
great.
came
He's
to
so
our
solid.
our two leads, Garrett Hedlund and Olivia Wilde, people were kind of back and forth on them. More positive on Olivia Wilde, I think. Garrett Hedlund kind of just got
Really?
listed as dull.
I can see that. I
Yeah.
spoilers don't care for Olivia Wilde in this.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of her just in general. But I guess we'll get into it as we talk about the movie. Interestingly enough, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this. The performance that they were most positive on was that of Michael Sheen.
Michael
He played the
Sheen?
he played the guy at the nightclub.
Am I thinking of this? Isn't Michael Sheen Charlie Sheen's
Or
dad?
you're thinking of Martin
Martin
Sheen?
Sheen. Is he also related? Martin Sheen or
No,
Michael Sheen?
no, this guy is British or something.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is the guy.
No, I know.
I don't.
Castor. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. That character sucks ass. Castor is the worst fucking part of this movie by a mile.
People loved how
Hate that
cartoony he
motherfucker.
was. Okay, I think when we get to him, we'll talk about him.
Me and
Uh,
Roger Ebert's ghost are gonna have a fight about Castor.
no, I don't think Roger Ebert said that.
Okay, all right.
Anyways, on Rotten Tomatoes, this does have lower scores across the board than the original. It's got a 51 critic score and a 64 audience score. The original had a 73 for critics and a 69, nice, for audience.
Noise. So sorry, I wasn't listening. So this is higher?
This is lower.
Okay, good.
This is lower audience by 5%, and it's lower critics by like 22%.
That's a little rough, but that yeah.
Yeah,
I think maybe
think
also the
that is rough.
climate would have been more discerning in like in the 2000s in 2010 or whatever than it would have been in what was it? Would you say 2012? When did this come out?
It came out 2011.
2011. Then they would have been in the 80s. In the 80s, I feel like there just weren't as many movies coming out. So
Oh no,
maybe
2010. It did come out 2010. I'm sorry. How
uh,
embarrassing. We're
basically I'm
gonna
a
get notes.
genius.
It came out December 2010. Come on now. That's basically 2011.
That's fair. That's fair. It's on the line.
Anyways, my last two things here is that Tron Legacy was nominated for Best Sound Editing at the Academy Awards, but it lost to Inception.
I think both of those things are fair. Inception
Yeah.
had some pretty good sound, and this had this. I think that was maybe one of the standouts of this was the way it sounded. Obviously,
Yeah.
Inception, a better movie, but
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah,
And then my last thing is Daft Punk were also nominated for a Grammy for the soundtrack. They did not win. I don't know who they lost to. I didn't look into it.
that's fair. That's fair, and I respect it.
But with all of that said, and our general vibe on this movie is fairly positive, about the same as the first one, I think,
Yeah.
more or less. Let's get into the story of it. You want to take us there?
Yes. So we start our Tron Legacy trip with a redrawn version of the Walt Disney logo, where it's all neon blue and black glass, like that one guy hated. And I actually think it looks pretty dope here. I think it looks really cool.
I think there's certain points where the color scheme in this really work, and there's others where it's just like I wish it wasn't so muted.
Yeah.
The castle here is super cool. I agree.
We then get a little VO from Jeff Bridges as Kevin Flynn talking about the grid to a young boy who it turns out is his son Sam. He's telling Sam a bedtime story, but I don't think works as a bedtime story. He's mostly just like, and then I did some cool stuff in the last movie. Wasn't that great? But while he's telling him about the last movie, he's also, the camera is sort of panning around the room and looking at a bunch of really cool Tron toys that I'm like, man, I kind of wish I had some of those actually.
I didn't look this up. Do you think they made like these toys?
I bet
Or
at least some of them are just real toys. Yeah.
I know that they had USB drives that you could. It was like the light cycle, and you could plug into your computer, and it would light up.
Yeah, I definitely have seen something like that.
There's a Diamond Select figure of Sark from the first movie for $77 on Amazon if you want that.
No, I'm okay.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm fine. For $77 or $75, I'll abstain. Thank you though. In this scene, we also, fortunately, it's mostly hidden in shadow, but Jeff Bridges has a weird CGI face to try and make him look younger.
Man,
This is probably the scene in which it looks the best because you can't see it as much. But I did
think
still
there's
notice it.
I think there's scenes when we get to the grid where because of the digital nature of the world that we're in and because of how dark everything kind of is in the background,
Yeah.
there are shots where it's just like passable on in the grid.
Oh yeah.
But this is bad. There's so yeah, they when I start watching this movie, I'm like, okay, they digitally de-aged him. They're doing a fairly okay job of hiding it though. They're not showing his face a lot. That's smart. Then they show a little bit more of his face, and I'm like,
Like right
okay,
before he leaves.
all right, he's back, and then the shot, he's walking out the door, and the unearned confidence that they had to have this man turn around, full on fucking IMAX. It is the scariest digital face. It is bad touch. And then he speaks, his lips move.
It doesn't look
No.
right.
No.
It's, I think maybe for the time it's not terrible. Like it's definitely like you know what they're trying to do. You can 100% tell it's CGI. And I think, and you mentioned this, I think once we get to the grid, it becomes excusable.
Yeah.
But in this one scene, yeah, it's a little weird.
When we're in the grid, the de-aged Flynn is this movie's version of like all the digital vehicle shots in the first movie. It's just like, yeah, it doesn't look great, but we are in a computer, so we can. My mind can excuse it a little bit.
If there was ever a movie that you could get away with this in, it's probably this one.
We're not in a computer now, though, are we?
No,
this digital ghost is roaming the streets. Oh, maybe we might be.
Who's to say?
I just love that in the middle of the night, he's like, I'm so cool, aren't I, son? And then the son's like, yeah, you're cool, Dad. He's like, watch this. And he gets on his motorcycle and rides away, and he's never seen again.
Yeah. Well, so, okay. So he tells his son, he tells Sam, that part of the story is that he made a new Clue. Because if you remember, Clue, I'm pretty sure is the name of the one who dies at like the beginning.
Yep.
So he makes a new
foreshadow Clue's return.
Yeah. He makes a new Clue, and him, Clue, and Tron made a new grid, a better grid with strippers and blackjack. And they've been working to try and make the world a better place by doing stuff on the grid, I guess. And then he says, "Hey man, when I get back tomorrow, we can go play some video games and you can try to beat your old man's high score." But Sam is like, "I don't want to beat you. Like, I just want to play games with you. Like, can we be on the same team?" And that is the entire motivation of that character, is like he just wants to spend more time with his dad.
Well, unfortunately, his dad disappeared forever.
Yeah.
And
In
I guess he never told any of his friends about being sucked into a computer, so no one knew where to look for him.
We then
Alan
cut
was right
to
there.
a series of TVs laying on a wet ground that are all
Dude,
telling us.
this shot's weird. It's like a graveyard of televisions.
It's weird. It does look cool. It looks very like upside down Stranger Things, but techie. And I'm not against it, but it is. There's no way to justify it in context, so I don't know.
Sure. It's just a little not literal.
Yeah, it's weird. But in it, it's just a series of news broadcasts that tell us that Kevin Flynn has gone missing, and he's been missing for several years. And then they say that a couple years after the events of the first movie, his wife and mother of Sam died. And then, spoilers, we see Alan in this movie, but not I forget her name, but the woman from the first movie. Is it supposed to be implied that she left Alan and got with Kevin and they had a kid and then
I
died?
have no idea. I don't assume that. It's not impossible.
They don't say it. So it could, I mean, it's up to interpretation. I'm going to choose no
Yeah, I would prefer no. Alan deserves better than that.
for sure. And then they also say that the two games he made, Tron and Space Paranoid, are the two best selling video games of all time. Just crazy.
That's crazy. That's insane. Well, maybe not. Maybe in like a Tetris sort of way, right?
Yeah, I actually don't know how high Tetris is. I think it is. It's like top 10 or top 15, but it's definitely not number one.
It is cool that they established, like I made the joke in the last discussion where it's like, nope, the video game from Tron is not called Tron. Well, now it is because he made it.
Now it
and
is.
he named it after his good digital pal.
Yeah. We also learned that the board of NCOM took control of it after he went missing. I guess Alan was in charge of NCOM for a while, and then the board sort of voted to take it away from him. But should Sam Flynn ever come back, he has the controlling shares necessary to just take control of the company again.
Sam, go back and help Alan. What the hell?
It also sounds like Flynn got really obsessed with the grid and going into it in a way that like is kind of expressed in this one scene and no other scene as like a addiction. They don't really address it, but it does kind of come across that way here.
Yeah, he's definitely. I don't know. Is there some sort of metaphor here for he's so busy, quote unquote, working that he's not spending time with his son? And
There's
then
definitely part of that,
his,
yeah.
his working just happens to be being God in another realm.
Yeah, probably. But then now, many years later, Sam is a grown-ish man, and he is running away from the police on his cool motorcycle. And he evades them by dropping off an overpass and sort of just going on a different street, which it seems like is really easy to get away from the police in this universe. But hey, it works for him, and it definitely will come up later. So
Yeah,
good
it lets
for
us
him.
know that he's good at cycling.
He goes to the NCOM building, and specifically he goes to the impossibly thick door from the first movie, which I did pop seeing. I was like, oh.
He comments on it. He says, "Now that's a big door."
He's like, wow, what a door. Yeah. And he hacks it just like his dad did in the first movie. Inside, NCOM CEO Richard Mackey, who is not important in this movie whatsoever, like I thought he would be at the time I wrote his name down, is having a board meeting when he says, "We're more profitable than ever, and we're launching a new operating system, and it's apparently made by Dillinger's son, who still works there despite his dad being excommunicated, Edward Dillinger."
That's Cillian Murphy.
That's Cillian
Oppenheimer.
Murphy? Oh,
That's
I don't know
Cillian
why.
Murphy.
I saw his nerd ass, and I thought it was the guy who played Fanforstic Doom.
Toby Kebbell.
I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in 40 years.
That's Toby Kebbell wasn't even born yet.
We hired Cillian Murphy.
2011.
We hired Cillian Murphy to do half of one scene and then never appear again.
This is a cameo, obviously. He's only in this scene, and again, as you mentioned, never back. And I don't know if they were dealing with like setting up for a sequel, maybe where Dillinger comes back. Obviously, in Tron, Ares coming up soon.
Yeah,
There's another Dillinger character played by Evan Peters, who I guess is probably this Cillian Murphy Dillinger's son,
I
maybe?
guess. Yeah, or I don't know how old is Cillian Murphy.
He was old enough to Oppenheimer.
Yeah, is he old enough that he could be Evan Peters' dad though?
Sure, what Evan Peters is like our age.
Probably. But anyway, at the board meeting, Alan is there and he asks, "Hey, what improvements did you make to the new operating system?" And they're like, well, "We put a 12 on it," implying that they have done absolutely dick all. They're just selling people another product.
iPhones probably.
Yeah, it's some kind of operating system. They do say that. But Sam sneaking in triggers an alarm as he sneaks into some kind of big old server room, and then he swaps a chip with something else as he's being chased by a guard who is good at his job, but just not quite good enough.
He's better at his job than he should be, given his stature. I
He
mean, God
definitely,
bless this guy, but this is your typical. He spills his cup of coffee. He's running his husky ass down the stairs.
yeah. It's probably
He
the most action that he's seen at this job in a long time, to be fair.
Oh my God, and he it does follow the perp to the roof.
Yeah,
Like he should have given up and called for backup like 20 minutes ago, but he's committed. God bless this guy.
it is insane. But yeah, it turns out that he is replacing the operating system with a video of his dog. So,
Mm. Cute little French bulldog, I think.
yeah, so he in the boardroom, they're like pulling it up to show it to the, I guess, collected board here, which I don't know why they're meeting at like 11 o'clock at night or whatever, but whatever. And it says it pulls up a video of the dog barking, and then they're like, "Where's the OS? What's going on?" And Alan pulls up on his iPad, and he's like, "Oh, it looks like it's being uploaded for free to the internet right now."
Everyone already has it.
Yeah, well, it's the same one as last year, right? So you would assume so.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
then Sam climbs up to the roof, and he goes off on like this little perch thing, this like beam that's coming off the building, and the guard follows him onto the beam. I'm not
Oh,
doing
dude,
that if
come
I'm a
on.
guard. Not a fucking chance.
Especially not this guard.
He also doesn't recognize the son of his missing CEO, which I think is unrealistic, but I'm fine to bear with it.
No, maybe just the only times he's ever been here is when he broke in and didn't get caught.
Uh, I mean, I work at a company where I know the son of my CEO personally, so that's not, maybe I'm in a weird position. But yeah, and then he gives that guard a heart attack when he jumps off the building, and then at the very last second opens a parachute and gets stuck on a light post. And all I can think is like, oh, this is like that scene from the Batman, but just not as good.
It's Batman. It works though. He got away.
Well, he got away for a second, then he immediately gets arrested by police down on the ground.
That did happen. That's true.
But it seems to not matter because then he seems to get out the same night, probably on bail. I'm sure he has enough money to pay it off. And he gets a ticket, which seems to happen a lot because on his way out, he's on first name basis with the guy at the impound lot when he goes to pick up his bike. So then Alan goes to visit him at his house, which is a shipping container between two bridges.
Let me
Thank
let me refer to my notes here for a second.
Yeah,
Where here's what I wrote about Flynn, Flynn Jr.,
Sam.
who I did actually originally in this part I did write son of Flynn, but then he's literally called that multiple times by a different character, so I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, Flynn Jr. He's a good hacker and has a cute dog, and he's a cool guy who jumps off buildings because he's cool. And if you say he's bland, you're just jealous because he lives in a garage by the river and you don't.
I live in a van down by the river. It is just a couple of shipping containers like stacked together, but he seems to have made it honestly really cool. It looks
I mean,
like the best no girls allowed fort
yeah,
you could build.
I won't lie. I would live here. And
If
I
the rent's
need
cheap,
to
I'll
stress,
do it right now.
it's not a house.
It's not, and it's between two bridges, so it's probably loud as shit.
I think this is as close as you can probably get to being homeless while still having a home.
He's he's really upscaling homelessness.
Yeah, he's got a fridge. He's got a sink.
Got a dog who's a
He's got a
rescue.
garage door.
So Alan comes to talk to him, and he talks to him about hey man, when are you going to come and take over the company? These guys suck ass. And then he also says something about like, oh, your annual prank went well or something, which implies that he does exactly this every year.
They didn't see it coming.
They didn't see it coming. And also it's like, because they make, it doesn't end up mattering to the overarching plot, but they make a big deal of it at first of like, oh, you know, Kevin Flynn, he used to put this stuff out for free all the time or whatever. Like he was really good to his consumers. And then these guys took over to try and make the business more profitable because of course, you know, capitalism.
Yeah.
But then they're like, they kind of undercut it a little bit by being like, well, I guess it's not undercutting because it's Sam doing it against their will. So they're showing that like he is a rebel and he's willing to fight for stuff. So I understand their reasoning for it, but it does undercut it a little bit to be like, but they may not have been able to do that really great because apparently every year Sam is just releasing free shit.
They should know. They should be like, today's the day.
That guard should have recognized him.
Get as many overweight guards as we can muster.
It's really funny. But then he tells him that he got a page on his pager from Flynn's Arcade, his dad's old office number specifically, and he gives Sam the keys to it so he can go and check it out.
A ghost page. Ooh.
Ooh. The page is coming from inside the ghost.
Ooh.
Sam then goes to the arcade, and it's still really cool, but also it's busted as hell. And he
dusty.
He flips on the breaker, and immediately music starts playing, and it's that one song from every 80s movie ever, and I think also maybe a Stranger Things episode.
It is Separate Ways by Journey.
Yeah. He goes up to the office, and we see that really cool wraparound couch. And at this point, I was like, they're really nailing the nostalgia aspect of this movie. Like, they're really crushing it.
It's so funny that it's called Tron Legacy, and now we know what to call this type of movie is a legacy sequel. But yeah, they hit the hallmarks in all the ways. It's what was the first Legacy sequel, you think? I don't even really know.
This might be early on. Yeah.
There has to be. I mean, this was early to the trend.
Yeah.
Where like everything needs a Legacy sequel. But there has to be one that predates this, but it hits the blueprint just right. Like it does everything it's supposed to.
Yeah. It really does. I think that they're doing a really good job of that here. And I also wrote here in my notes, and the kid does look a lot like Jeff Bridges. Like they did really good casting for his son. He's not like the most amazing actor in the world. I think he's fine. I think he does a good job.
I can buy it. I honestly don't know what else Garrett Hedlund's in.
Couldn't tell you. The name sounds familiar.
Is his name familiar because he was at the Comic-Con we went to this year?
Yeah, probably. Maybe.
There was when I saw Garrett Hedlund was there doing autographs, I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. I'm glad he's doing stuff. And then there was a point where we were walking around on the convention floor, and this girl walked by, and she had a Tron disc. She had the disc, and it was signed by him. And I'm like, damn, that's really cool.
Actually.
Damn it, that's cool.
Let's see. Sam goes to play Tron, the video game. But when he puts a coin in, it immediately falls straight out onto the floor, where he then notices, like all good D&D campaigns, scratch marks on the ground that indicate a hidden door. So he pulls out the machine and finds a secret lab beneath the arcade.
Ooh.
And it has been untouched for so long that the dust has become sand, is what I wrote.
Man, it's
like it's in the desert.
Listen, my allergies would be killing me in this room.
I would die. I would simply die.
No, it's not habitable.
He starts messing with a computer that has a familiar looking laser pointed straight at the back of it.
I love that Flynn. So obviously Flynn Sr. is like going to the grid to be God, right? We know this.
Right. Yeah.
I love that he sets up the laser behind him the same way that it got him originally. He's like, well, I have to be sitting here to turn it on.
Yeah.
Might as well put it across the room.
And so he starts messing with the computer, and he gets blasted into the grid. Also, when he first touches the computer, there's like a countdown on it that says 20 years. So that's how long Kevin Flynn has been missing, is 20 years and some odd months, days, whatever. And he gets blasted into the grid, but in this version, it's not the way it looks in the previous movie. It is a digital recreation of the city that he just was in, down to
Yeah,
Flynn's bar, which
yeah.
is, I think,
At
actually
least,
really cool.
yeah, I think so too. I at least this part is right. He's basically Flynn has made a mirrored version, a grid version of his arcade in his office. My gripe with it, and granted, it has been abandoned presumably because he's hiding. We'll find out.
Mhm.
But like, he should have put some decorations up in here. Like you have a secret second office in another realm, and you don't put anything in it. It's just a dark room.
I'm also a little surprised that like it's not being monitored, all things considered.
Well, maybe it is. He
But
does immediately get arrested.
that is true. So hey, a recognizer. He walks outside, and a recognizer immediately spotlights him and grabs him.
The
And
recognizer has never looked better, by the way.
it does look really cool.
And when I referenced earlier that they were making practical sets, there's specifically a shot where like you can see them like molding and putting down these hexagonal like uh pads on this city street here,
Oh, that's
which
really
is
cool.
wild
Yeah.
that they like I don't know, I guess it was an era where sure we didn't have all the answers for things digitally, like we can't recreate Jeff Bridges' face, obviously.
Mhm.
But they were just like, well, we still need to do some practical stuff, and so they did, and you can't help but appreciate that.
I respect it for sure. So one of the guards that grabs him notes that he doesn't have a disc. They're like, "This program has no disc," and he starts being
He's
like,
discless.
"Oh, I'm not a program. I'm a user," and they don't seem to give a shit. Because I don't know. They don't. The guards don't seem to have any personality, which I think is canonical.
Yeah,
Um,
it's above their pay grade.
yeah. I also made a note here. The style of all the clothing is, first of all, these guards look way less stupid than the first movie.
Mhm.
It's very. It might be like at this point a little generic sci-fi. I think back then it was still probably relatively fresh. I think a lot of people have sort of been aping this style, but it's
Yeah,
very the programs that he's sort of lined up with. Their style is very like cyberpunk, not the game,
cyberpunk.
but the
Yeah, yeah,
style.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, so
I will
there's
say this about the guards. They do. You see that, and you're like, oh, that's Tron. That's from Tron. Like
yeah,
it does
it,
ape that style perfectly.
yeah. It just looks less stupid than the ones from the first one.
Oh yeah.
Um, so we see some programs he's there with. One looks like Jeff Goldblum's character from Thor Ragnarok. One has half of his face missing, and another one is crying that he doesn't want to be put in the games.
Games, not the games, not the games, not the games.
And then a guard walks down the line and immediately puts that guy into the games.
Yeah, it's the opposite of the sorting hat from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You get what you don't ask for.
And he chooses to instead run away and throw himself into a big fan to get derezzed. And then we find out that in this movie, when you get derezzed, you turn into a bunch of like little cubes, which I think is actually
Yeah,
a really cool aesthetic. Like that's
it is cool.
neat.
It's very similar to, and it was around the same time. Scott Pilgrim came out the same year,
And the
and when
coins.
they die and they turn into the coins. It's a cool effect.
Yeah.
I want to know why this guy was so fucking scared of the games because yeah, if you lose the games, you're gonna die. But like, if you kill yourself, you're gonna die too. So like, just go play frisbee, dude. Like, give it a shot.
May as well.
But yeah, he jumps down a pit.
It feels like an overreaction, but like he is gonna probably die either way. So
Maybe it's a reference to the first Tron, where instead of fighting Tron, that guy chose to jump down a pit.
yeah. Sam also gets sorted into games. Everyone else is put into reclaim or something like that. Reclamation, I think. It's something to that effect, or like repurpose, something like that. But Sam gets sent down into a room with four really hot
Rectify?
ladies with the rectify might be right. I think it is
It's
rectify.
Rectify.
So he gets sent down into a room with four hot ladies who have
Yeah.
the tightest ponytails I've ever seen in my life. They look so severe. I bet every single one of those actresses went home with a headache. I swear on
Oh,
God.
they still have them. Those
Yeah.
headaches.
They also walk really weird, and they cut his lasers. They cut his clothes off with lasers that come out of their fingers. Maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they're very specific programs, I guess. They have jobs, and it is to take clothes off of people. I think one of these ladies is somebody of note, but I don't remember. Hang on, let me look into this.
Couldn't tell you. But then they put him into a weird nanomachine suit and armor. which I actually think again looks really cool.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. I'm going to spoil one of my trivias actually on the, I guess just all of the clothing here. Everyone's got lights on their clothes, and it they had a bitch and a half filming this. So the clothes and outfits everyone's wearing actually have the lights built into them for the filming purposes, and then they
That
I
makes sense.
probably tweak it with some digital stuff afterwards. But not unlike when they filmed the newer Star Wars trilogy, where like they used the actual light from the prop lightsabers to work with it, know what they're
Right.
doing. But unfortunately, like every outfit, specifically like Garrett Hedlund's that had all the lights all over it, they ran on little lithium batteries that had a lifespan of 12 minutes.
Okay, we have to figure. You got to figure something out better than that, bro. That's crazy. Get some double A's
They
and put it in the backpack part. Like, what are we talking about?
it apparently driving everybody crazy. They eventually so the light strips had to be switched out before each take too.
No,
So
nah, man.
so we got 12 minutes to get this shot, and after each take all the lights start to dim a little bit. So that's taking up too much time.
Yeah. Look, I think it looks really cool. The aesthetic of these suits is outstanding. It might have been worth it at the end of the day. This team should have had a better engineer that could figure out how to make them fucking lights last for more than a second.
Well, the best part about it, if you're an actor wearing the suit, such as Garrett Hedlund is here, they say, "Cut. All right, change the strips and change the battery." He doesn't get to go sit down for that. He has to stand still
Yeah.
and let them fucking haggle over it for however long it would take them.
Jesus.
I hopefully by the end of production they had like a NASCAR pit crew. All right, go.
Go, 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 go. They also give him a disc before sending him off to the games.
It's cool that they gave him a disc, and it's cool that they explained to him what the disc does.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do that.
I think it's mostly for us, but yeah, it's nice. He then gets risen up into an arena like that scene from the Hunger Games
Yeah.
to play Disc Wars. And we also see that there's a weird guy with yellow lights on him who is watching from some kind of penthouse. Sam then has to fight a weird looking guy with face makeup.
He says that he has a toy of him.
He does, which I don't know if he does, because I'd have to go back to that scene in his bedroom. I remember a couple of little like program toys, but I don't remember that one in particular. No.
Right. But it's weird that he recognized him specifically. He was like, "I know you." And then his childhood toy that he played with, presumably, he has to kill.
Yeah, this fight really I didn't take a ton of notes for. They're basically playing like windjammers. They're throwing the frisbees off the wall and trying to hit each other with
Yeah.
it to kill each other. He ends up killing the guy by breaking a hole in the ground underneath him, so that when he jumps at him, he falls into the hole and dies.
It's not super dissimilar to what Flynn Senior has to play in the first one with
Right.
the rings that disappear.
Yeah,
Because eventually, like the hexagons start breaking away, and then he smashes one away and lets this guy tumble to his death. I think it's a cool little fight. I think we're off to a good start here in the grid.
for
Everything
sure. Yeah,
looks good. The games are cool. We are officially on like the track of we're just gonna basically repeat all the events of the first movie now.
yeah. That doesn't stop happening.
Spoilers, yeah, we're like, okay, we're in the games, and then we're going to escape, and then we get on the Solar Sailor. There's only one scene that kind of like breaks that up a bit, and it's probably Daniel's least favorite scene in the movie
Unfortunately,
because of a
yeah.
certain character. But I think the games are cool in this one.
They are. They're really cool. But instead of fighting the second guy, he breaks out of his own pod and tries to run away, but then it doesn't really work. They keep saying like that he's taken on a penalty or something, but then it doesn't matter because he just ends up in the final match anyway against a guy called, unfortunately, the Rinsler, which is not the Rizzler, a brar
No.
who's clipping this right now
Oh.
for a short, probably.
Don't clip it.
You
Don't
son
clip.
of a bitch.
And he's gonna put the
He's
Rizzler
gonna
in.
put
the
the
clip.
Rizzler in it, and I'm not gonna upload it. And I'll still
No,
pay
yeah,
him. I'll
you
still
have
pay
that
him for it,
power.
but I'm not gonna.
You have
upload
the
it.
final power. No, don't pay him for that. You're telling him right now not to do it.
Oh, you're right. Don't do it. I won't pay you. They fight for a while, and the pod keeps shifting around. It does like a gravity shift sort of thing. The Rinsler
Oh no,
wins,
you gotta
but
watch your mouth.
the Rinsler wins, but when did I say something bad or did I say Rizzler in an accident?
You accidentally said Rizzler.
Oh, my bad. Uh, I just thought maybe I had actually slipped a slur in there or something. And I guess
Rizzler's
Rizzler's
kind of a slur. Yeah.
But anyway, he wins, but then he sees blood coming out of him instead of, him de-rezzing. And
User.
so he goes, user, and doesn't kill him. And the other guy up in the penthouse demands to see him. First he demands that Sam identify himself like over a loudspeaker. And when he does, he brings him up to his office, where we find out that the yellow guy is, in fact, Sam's dad, Flynn. But why is he still super young? And why is he kind of evil now and putting programs into the games that he hates?
His face is still scaring me.
Uh-oh.
And he's acting like immediately antagonistic.
Yeah. And that's because
sus, and he's like, how'd you get here, huh? You want to tell me your life social security number?
Yeah. But turns out it's actually Clue, which is why he has the bad CGI face, because he's a computer guy.
It was Clue the whole time. That's amazing.
And then Sam immediately gets taken back down to the arena. So him getting taken up to talk to him and then immediately back down is like kind of a waste of time, but it's fine.
Well, Clue wasn't going to go down there. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, he does go down there because he gets in the race.
So he gets taken back down to the arena, and the audience starts cheering that he's gonna get murdered. And then Sam is forced to play against a champion. In this case, the champion is Clue himself. But the game they're playing is none other than Tron. So they are handed these like batons that you can break apart to become handlebars that then summon like a light cycle around you, which again, really cool.
Yeah. This is kind of how it worked in the first one. If they make it look pretty cool here.
Yeah.
Really, my only complaint at this point, this light cycle thing is where I really started to notice. I'm like, this blue ain't bluing.
That's fair.
Kind of muted. It's more like white than it is blue. So we're just kind of not playing with all the colors that I feel like we could be.
All the colors of the wind. So they mount up their light cycles, and they're in a 5v5 arena battle. The other programs warn him that the bad guys' bikes are faster, and so you kind of have to outsmart them. But then two of those programs immediately die, so I guess they're not that smart. Sam takes one out really fast before then a third program gets got. So we're immediately down to 4 baddies and 2 good guys. Then Sam starts trying to partner with the last guy, the last good program, to take out, and they do a good job. They take out 2 more of the bad guys pretty fast. But then the other guy falls off his bike and he gets run over. And honestly, it's pretty fucking brutal. But hey, at least Sam got the bike handles out of it.
There's some rough deaths. I mean, good thing they're falling apart into little cubes or digital pieces or whatnot, because there's a decapitation here. These dudes are getting wrecked.
Yeah, they're getting bodied. Sam then also gets knocked off his bike, but right before he is killed, he's rescued by a lady in a cool space car. And they break out of the arena in the very, very much the same way that they do in the first movie. I almost said game, which I guess technically is also accurate in this case. And they go off grid, where his savior immediately reveals herself to be Quora, who is a manic pixie dream program.
It is Olivia Wilde with the most crooked fuck-ass bob you've ever seen on a person.
It's an atrocious haircut. It's so bad. She's a very attractive woman, unsurprisingly. We've all known this forever.
Definitely. Of course.
But that haircut is doing her no favors. It is awful.
It's legitimately like your Lego guy, his hairpiece is like twisted to the side. It's just wrong. Just fix it. Why do they do it?
It's like it was a haircut at the time. It was a very like scene girl haircut. But even at the time, I don't think most people would have looked at it and been like, hell yeah, brother. Like, it's not a good one. It was, I think, intentionally supposed to look bad as like a counterculture thing for the scene girls who did it. Here, it's just bad.
Sure. It's just your hair's crooked.
Yeah.
Fix it.
So Quora, which I think is a search website or something also, takes Sam to a secret base where he finds an old man meditating in a beam of light. And it is, of course, none other than older, not CGI Jeff Bridges, who immediately recognizes his son Sam, and they hug and they cry a little, and it's really cute.
Of course, God recognizes his son. He created him in his own image.
He recognizes his Jesus. Sam tells Flynn that he got his page, and Flynn's like, I didn't send out a page. But he also seems like really out of it. So he must be the one that gave Cora her really awful haircut.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Flynn then kind of wanders off, saying that they'll have dinner later. So Cora, I guess, shows Sam
You could just
around.
call her Olivia Wilde.
No,
We don't.
no.
Okay.
The Legend of Korra shows Sam some books. Apparently, her favorite is Jules Verne, which is interesting. I don't know if that's supposed to be like he also beamed these books in here, or if it's like a representation of. It doesn't matter really.
No, I think
but
theoretically, if he bought the books digital on a platform, then they're here.
oh yeah, it's his Audible bookshelf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You don't see it, but if you open the book, it does start speaking.
Yeah,
It is audible.
the face of a forlorn British man comes
Oh
out and
my
starts
God.
reading it to you.
Screaming like that Harry Potter book.
Brian of Toff.
No.
Or what does he say in the audiobook?
He says
Brian.
he says Brian.
What a bastard. So they sit down for dinner, and I was questioning where they got the food, but then gave up because I knew I wasn't going to get an answer.
Well, he's got a whole ass suckling pig on the table.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know where it came
Yeah,
from.
no, we're not gonna
We're not going to get an answer. But they are drinking, or at least Cora's drinking, the like power water from the first one. I did take note of that.
The blue Powerade.
Yeah. Way to go.
Cool. They knew what they were doing.
They were doing a good job. Honestly, I kind of maybe I like this movie.
I like this movie.
Flynn starts telling them about how he would come here after work, and he's like, "This is where I kept disappearing to." It's unclear to me exactly what he was trying to do. Like he says he was trying to make a better grid, and he was coming here to like solve other problems. And he does go on this like crazy thing where he's like, and then the ISOs showed up, and the ISOs are a species of people programs who are naturally occurring inside the grid that were not programmed, and they have a sort of digital DNA that Jeff Bridges' character Kevin Flynn says that he could have used to eradicate all disease.
See, that's where you start to lose me.
You're losing me a little bit here, because I don't know why he came here in the first place, and I also don't really understand how digital DNA helps you cure diseases. And I guess I don't need to understand that last part, but I don't know,
I'm on
man.
board. I'm on board with him coming here, right? He comes here, and we know he has god powers in the grid because he is a user in the grid, and so he's just able to do big time computer work in a manner of which he can't do as well outside of the grid. And then obviously I keep calling him God. That's because that's the role he's taken.
Yeah.
And he's like, the programs are his people, and he's like not abandoning them, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, he feels responsible to take care of the grid. That's why he keeps coming back and back and back. And then this whole thing with the ISOs, as you mentioned, they're just like this chosen people that just appear one day.
Literally wandering through the desert.
Yeah, literally. It's I think there comes a line where he just calls it, quote, biodigital jazz, man.
It's one of my favorite lines in the movie. He gets very the dude in this movie, and I appreciate it.
When he says that, I think you're just supposed to be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you say.
I mean, and
sure.
that was the effect it had on me, so it worked, I guess. But
yeah, it does.
At that point, I was like, okay, I'm just not going to take this part of it too seriously. I'm just going to understand there was a group of people who were special that were not programs, but are sort of programs.
He says biodigital jazz, man, and then you're distracted by the fireplace with the little digital blue fire.
The cool digital fire. Yeah. Man, that shit's awesome, actually. But then he says, but Clue didn't like the ISOs. He saw them as sort of like aberrant because they weren't programs. He was created to create the perfect program, the perfect grid, and these things are unpredictable. They're not programs. They're not like, they don't have a set guideline, I guess. And so he hated them and did what is directly called a genocide. He just fully kills all of the ISOs.
Usurps power and immediately
and kills Tron.
He genocides a race of people that he deems lesser than himself. Whew.
Yeah.
Thank God that doesn't happen in
He
our time.
he went real Hitler real fast.
And then yeah, he fights he kills definitely kills Tron.
Definitely kills Tron. Tron has never been presumed dead and then not been dead before, and I'm sure it won't happen multiple times in this movie. Um, Also, we learn that the portal to the real world can only be opened from the outside. He says it's like a safe, and will only be open for 8 hours, which I think is not a great idea in general.
Dude, you should fix that.
There's a line later when they're like heading towards the portal. It's this big like beam in the sky, where Quora says that when people saw that, they were like, "Oh, that was always like a beacon of hope for us," because then when we saw that, we knew that that meant Flynn was here, that God was with us, basically.
Yeah.
And all I can think is like, you only get 8 hours. Like you got all this shit done in 8 hour intervals. I mean, I guess
Do
that's a
hours
work
work
day.
different here?
He does say that, and it's unclear if because he says that time passes slower here. So like a couple, or sorry, like I guess faster here. So like you could spend days here, and it would only be a couple minutes outside. He says something to that effect. But then he also says that the portal's only open for a couple microcycles or something, and that's 8 hours. And so then it's unclear if he means 8 hours on the inside or the outside. I have to assume he means on the inside because the whole movie from this point on takes place pretty fast.
Yeah, but we go to so many places.
We do, but we don't spend a lot of time there. I don't know. It's unimportant. I guess we're also not supposed to think about that too much. So Clue, here's the plot of the movie. Clue wants Flynn's disc because with it and the portal open, he would be able to escape to the real world. So that is Clue's big job, is he wants to get out into the real world and I guess do techno Hitler stuff there.
Yeah, well
That's
I
Ares.
think what you got to think at the time, you're like, well, if people can go into the grid, is it ridiculous that grid people can leave? I guess
No,
not. I'm
yeah.
willing to roll with it, and I like it now, especially considering that that's seemingly what Ares is all about.
Yeah,
Like, there's the whole ass like recognizers and light cycles in the real world. So
absolutely. We then also find out Flynn tells Sam that he didn't send the text or the page. And he's like, this is exactly what he wants. You know, we've been stuck in this sort of Cold War for a long time. And so he has added you to the board to shake things up to try and get my disc away from me. And Flynn is basically like, we're just going to live here. You know, we're just going to not play the game. The only way to win is not play the game. War games. And Sam's like, okay, well, that's lame. He decides that he's just going to go and get to the portal and get himself out so he can solve the problem from the outside with Alan. But then Cora's like, don't do that. But then immediately she goes to her room, which has a girl next door window to his room. So she just sees him like being sad in there, and she grabs what I at first thought was a map, but might be like, I don't know, a invitation or something to this bar. And she takes it over to him in his room, and she says that you got to go find this guy. His name is Zeus, spelled weird. He used to fight alongside the ISOs back in the day. He might be able to help you. And so she sends him to the city to go and do that. And
he's definitely not a shitter.
he's definitely not a shitter. So Sam takes his dad's old light cycle, which is still not the one from the first movie, but does look really cool, and heads on into the city. And then when Flynn goes to check on Sam, and honestly, I think, we'll never know what that scene is, but I think would have been a really cool scene. I would have liked to have seen it, actually. He has already left to find Zeus with his dad's old light cycle, so it's oops. So he gets to the city really fast, and then he immediately gives the bike to a different guy who then gets arrested for having it. He basically just like frames this guy, which is a little bit funny.
Bummer.
And then he meets up with one of the weird ladies from before, who will turn out is called Jem, and she takes him to meet Zeus at this bar. But while she's doing that, we get two little cutaways where we find out that Clue is able to trace the bike that just got arrested back to the home base of Flynn. But we also, in the other cutaway, find out that Flynn and Cora are leaving that base to come and find Sam. So Everyone's moving. We're all doing stuff. Jem takes him to a guy who's called Castor and is the worst character in this movie, played by Asheen, I guess.
I mean, technically, but he's not part of the clan.
Apparently Castor is supposed to be able to get him to Zeus, and I wrote here, he's a real Loki type who takes him to his office, and tells Daft Punk to spin up a new track.
Yeah, Daft Punk's here. Cute little cameo, and they fit right in.
They do.
I think all they did was put some lights on them.
Yeah, for sure.
Now I had a thought when we see Daft Punk here because I vaguely remembered, and I did remember incorrectly, that there was a music video for one of the songs they did for this soundtrack where they get sucked into the grid. It's not true. They go to Flynn's arcade and they just play the game, and then we
Mm.
see versions of them in the game. So makes me wonder, Daft Punk are canon to this world, and are these their programs?
Yeah, I think that would make the most sense. I think these are their
Yeah.
these are like some audio program that they created. This is their Audacity.
Yeah, makes sense. I like it.
Back at Flynn's base, Clue and his goons, which we haven't talked about yet, but includes the Rinsler and a bald guy with like a weird face mask. I actually don't have that character's name, but
I had it a second ago.
he's a
Hang
little
on.
shitter.
He Jarvis.
Jarvis, that makes sense.
I don't know if they ever say that though.
Couldn't tell you. They start poking around the secret base, and Clue has a flashback to the time that he was created, and then he has a freak out and throws some stuff on the floor, and that's basically the whole scene. So back at Castor's bar, it turns out that Castor is in fact Zeus, but he's also
Oh,
a real son of a bitch.
yeah.
So him and Jem immediately turn heel, and they call the troops who appear on these really cool dragonfly wings to come and kill everybody in the bar.
Yeah. The
Uh, hmm?
I think this is where the movie starts to lose me just a tad. I
Yeah,
think the bar fight is kind of stupid.
it's
I don't think
stupid.
it's well choreographed.
Yeah. I think it's stupid
And
because the entire time it's happening, Castor is doing a hello my baby, hello my darling dance with a fucking glass cane and looks like an
yeah,
absolute prick.
he's just yelling at various pitches, and nobody punches him. No one tells him to shut up.
He's my least favorite kind of character. He's just like, I'm goofy and wacky. And like, it feels like they just were like, hey, you're crazy. Can you just like improvise some shit? And this is what he came up with. And I hate it.
I should point out that I like this actor,
I'm sure he's fine. I don't like him
but not
here.
in. Yeah, no, I don't care for the Castor Zeus character.
Mm-mm-mm-mm. Cora also comes in and she starts rescuing Sam. And then she fights a bunch and then gets her arm chopped off, which is brutal.
Yes. Yeah. Just comes clean off.
Fortunately, she's not bleeding because she's technically, even though she's, well, we don't know yet, but she's a program, so it's just like a bunch of blocks. So it's not too gruesome to look at, but it is, it's rough, buddy. And then Flynn shows up and uses his god powers to like hack the bar. I don't know. The lights kind of like dim, and then all the programs in the bar start actually fighting back, and they kick the shit out of the troopers so fast. It's mostly a lot. It's like a ground and pound. Like all the other guys in the bar like tackle them to the ground, and then one person will stab them with their disc, and they do that I
It's
think
a
like two
cool,
or three times.
it's a cool move on his part.
Oh yeah,
The
he's
way
great.
he kind of just Gandalfs the situation a little
Yeah.
bit.
Oh, and his robe is awesome. It's just like
Oh, the lights on the inside.
yeah, it's just a black robe with the inside is light, so he like lights up his face. It looks so cool. I want one. I'm gonna go as Jeff Bridges from this movie for Halloween some year. I'm not.
Hell
It's
yeah.
probably really expensive, and apparently I'd have to change the battery every 12 minutes.
Every 12 minutes.
But as they go to escape, the three of them, one of the troopers who might be the Rinsler, I'm not sure, gets Flynn's disc.
Yeah, I
So
think that was supposed to be.
so
Yeah.
now Clue has what he needs. Although I don't know if I wrote it down here, but Castor like knocks that guy away or something, and he ends up with the
Oh
disc.
yeah, no. It wasn't Rinsler because Castor shoots that guy in the back of the head and executes him, and then he's like, "Now I have the disc. He. What side am I playing on? It doesn't matter.
It
You're
doesn't
gonna be
matter.
dead
Yeah.
next scene."
So they escape on an elevator that's going way too fast, and then Jeff Bridges hacks it to make it slow down while Sam is like, "My girlfriend's dying. Could you help her?" And they're like,
Yep.
"Okay, well, he's got the thing. So our goal now is we just got to beat him to the portal. We got to get out before he does." And I'm like, "All right, cool. Yeah, I'm glad that we're just like men of action now."
He does just kind of have this vibe of like, great, fuck it. I didn't want to do this, but now we don't have any other choice. Fuck it.
Let's
Thank you.
do it. Way to go, son. So they hop on a solar sailor and head towards the portal. And we have some time to talk. And it's another one of those scenes that's basically just taken from the first movie, but maybe done slightly better because the conversations here are more impactful, I feel.
True.
But so on the way, Flynn uses his coding skills to fix Cora's arm. And we learn that she is the last ISO. She's the last surviving chosen ISO. And Flynn and Sam talk for a while about sort of things that have happened in the real world. He tells them about Wi-Fi and how his parents are dead. And Flynn, has his sort of come to Jesus moment where he's like, I'm sorry, I had a lot of time to think in here, and I had lost sight of what was important. I should have spent more time with you being a good dad instead of, coming here and being God. And then he says another really cool line that I'm not 100% sure what it means. He says, I'm going to go knock on the sky and see what sound it makes or something.
I think there's parts of this movie where he went off script, Jeff Bridges.
Jeff
I
Bridges
think
is great in this.
He's just saying some shit, and they're like, "Were we roll? All right, yeah, it's in. We're keeping it."
Back at the bar, Castor has called Clue, and he gives Clue Flynn's disc, and he's like kind of being a little worm tongue weasel guy.
Yeah.
And Clue, thankfully, turns face and kills Castor by blowing up the whole bar. Unfortunately, Jem gets caught up in it, and I don't know if she deserved that, but Castor finally dead. Thank God.
I just hope Daft Punk got out.
Oh man, no, they're probably dead too. That's why the band had to go away.
They do blow up years later in the desert, or at least one of them, so they can't die here.
Oh, okay. Cora wakes up and she tells Sam that she found Flynn during the purge when all of the ISOs were getting murdered, and he saved her. And this is where it becomes incredibly obvious that Flynn is God and Sam is Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
The whole conversation is very much like, and you are the son of Flynn, which is like the son of God. Like it's very, yeah. She also says that so earlier Sam had said that Flynn was talking to him at, I think, dinner and was like, "Do you have any a girlfriend or anything?" He's like, "No, I have a dog. He's a rescue." And then in this scene, Cora says that she is also a rescue, like Sam's dog. And I don't love the comparison, but it's not wrong, I guess.
She's very cute, and she's like, she doesn't know what things are.
Yeah, for sure. And then she, in following that, asks him what the sun is like because she has never seen it before. And in this exact moment, I was like, she's either gonna die tragically, like in his arms while looking at the sunset, or she's getting out of here.
It can only be one of the two.
Yeah. The Solar Sailor is then intercepted by a really big ship, just like it was in the first movie, except in this case, it doesn't explode. And we find out that Clue can't make programs, so all of the people that he's been grabbing for repurposing or whatever it was that you said it was, he's been taking them here to basically reprogram them into brainless soldiers. But they realize that they're being stalked by the Rinsler, and so Quora gives her disc to Sam and then runs off to distract him, and immediately gets caught. It was probably not a great decision, but it kind of works. And while Rinsler is taking down Quora, Flynn is able to recognize that he is a reprogrammed Tron, which means now I can say Tron instead of Rinsler.
Thank you. Thank God. Yeah, her plan here, it's very much like a player playing D&D. It's like, I need to get my friends out of the situation, and then they go do something really stupid.
Yeah, they split the party.
It's like, that does solve this problem, but it also creates 4 new problems, so thank you for that.
Great, now we have to deal with this. Thanks, Cora. And we see a huge army being prepared as Cora is taken up to Clue, who mainly just they kind of mean mug at each other for a while, and he doesn't really say anything of particular value. He does recognize her as an ISO, which you would think would make him immediately kill her, but he doesn't, I guess, to use her as bait.
Yeah,
and then Clue gives this really big speech to his army that I don't even know if can have thought anymore. He's basically just talking to a room full of clankers.
And he starts monologuing.
Yeah, and he's basically just like, we're the best, and we're going to take over the world, and we're going to turn the world into the best grid ever.
We're going to make the grid.
Yeah.
Grid again.
Make the grid again.
Make Tron again.
Make Tron again. So Flynn and Sam split up. Flynn is going to go find an escape vehicle while Sam is tasked with getting the disc back, Flynn's disc back. Sam has to fight his way through the bridge, which is mostly people who are like techs, it looks like. There's one really funny bit where they all see him and just like lower shields over themselves so he can't kill them. But he beats their ass pretty easy, and then he chokes out Clue's secretary, whose name I already forgot. Jarvis, thank you. Evil Tron enters with Quora, but then gets immediately knocked off the ship to presumably his third death.
This guy can't stop doing that.
He's really good at not falling off ships, though. So
Yeah,
that's his go-to move, is not falling off ships.
make you think that he's dead by falling off a ship when in fact he never fell off the ship.
Yeah. So they grab the disc, the Flynn's disc, and then they escape on those really cool dragonfly wings, where they meet up
Just
with
like he jumped off the building at the beginning.
yeah, and they meet
Wow.
up with Flynn, who has secured an escape ship. But Tron, master of not falling off ships, is in fact, surprise, not dead, and he meets up with Clue in the control room, where Clue then kills Jarvis.
Yeah, because Jarvis is a little coward, and as soon as he was faced with any sort of physical violence, he was like, I just work here. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
take what you want." And then Clue comes up and he's like, I didn't mean it though. I still work for you. And he's like, no, you get this guy out
Nah,
of here.
you're dead. So Clue, Tron, and a bunch of randos jump out the window and start chasing after them. They have those same handles that make the light cycles, but this time they make like jets basically, and they chase after the ship that they're flying away in. It's
We
worth
didn't have those in the first one.
no. It's worth noting that they're flying over something called the Sea of Simulation.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but they say that.
All right.
Anyway, the ships I think look really cool. They got like those light cycle streaks behind them, but the one that the good guys are flying in leaves two, and so it leaves this like corkscrew thing whenever it turns. I think it's neat.
Yeah.
It's a really cool effect.
cool looking.
But Tron, so they shoot down a bunch of them, but Tron ends up getting the upper hand, and he almost kills them. But then he sees Flynn, and he has a change of heart. He goes, "No kill I," and he instead goes to kill Clue. And they both fall for a long time. And while they're falling, they have they have like a Gandalf Balrog fight.
Right.
They're just kind of like kicking each other's ass while falling into the ocean. Clue gets the upper hand and ends up flying away on his dragonfly wings, and Tron falls into the ocean, where we see his lights turn blue, which either means he died a good guy or that he's not dead.
It's one of the two. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. He's done for this movie.
True.
His last words were, "I fight for the users."
Fight for the users. They land the good guys land in front of the portal in a really rough crash landing, and they start running up to it, but Clue has somehow beat them there. Flynn then tries to talk Clue down, but it turns into a fight where Clue and Flynn end up separated from Quora and Sam. Quora and Sam are like on the side that the portal is on, and our two Jeff Bridges are separated on a separate side of this walkway that's sort of separating and pulling apart. Clue grabs Flynn's disc off his back, but it turns out it's actually Quora's disc. They've done a hot swap.
Stupid.
And
The
so
whole
he
switcheroo.
and so he freaks out and tries to jump across the ledge, and he doesn't quite make it. He ends up hanging onto the edge of the walkway over where our heroes are. Quora and Sam start escaping. Sam like strikes the Tron pose, holding the disc above his head,
Yeah.
like the poster of Tron, if you've seen it.
Mhm.
But Clue climbs up and he's going to grab him. But then Flynn uses his god powers to create like a suction to recombine with Clue. So it was mentioned earlier that he could do that to kill Clue, but it would probably kill Jeff Bridges. He would kill Flynn as well. But Sam escapes from the grid, and now he has a necklace that I think is supposed to also be Flynn's disc. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Huh.
It looks
Yeah, I
like a
don't
little
know.
dog tag thing, and I think it's supposed to have the data from Flynn's disc on it. I'm not sure though. Anyway, he meets Alan in the arcade, where he tells him that he's going to take back over control of the company, and then we find out that Quora is waiting for him outside, and they go on a bike ride, and there's a little bit of a sunset, and it's really cute.
Beautiful.
And that's the end of the movie.
Beautiful way to end it. did you mention that he said like I'm gonna go take the company back.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna take it all back, Alan. And
So
then that must not work because the next movie's happening.
yeah, well, there's been a lot of years between then and now, so who knows? But yeah, here are some things that we know going into the next movie, which is not out yet as we're recording this. Tron is
Mhm.
probably not dead. That's my guess. He just turned blue. I think he's probably not dead. Clue and Flynn might also not be dead, but now they're the same guy. Encom is currently owned by the Flynns, as far as we're aware. Quora is in the real world, but not cast in the movie.
Yeah.
So, and looking at the cast list for Ares, neither is Sam, Alan, or by extension Tron. And there's also not anybody listed as recast as Tron or Alan or any of these characters. But a lot of the people who are on there don't have their names put in there, so it's not impossible that there's like a recast Tron. There's like, what's his name, Cameron Monaghan or whatever is in there, and his
Oh, is
character
he
doesn't have a name. What's his name? The guy from like Star Wars Jedi.
the guy you don't like?
Yeah. Well, I think he's fine. I just don't think he's a good actor. I think he's a
Uh,
good guy. I just don't like him as an actor.
right. Yeah. There you go. Cameron Monaghan is his name. Jeff Bridges is in the movie.
He is. Yeah.
And I think he's listen. We called him God all throughout this discussion. I think he's literally God of the grid now. I feel like he doesn't need a corporeal form. He exists.
I could see that. Yeah. I could also see if maybe he's listed there and it's just we see like some flashback type stuff.
Possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I guess your question going into the next one, my main question is like, what did happen to Sam and Cora? And I bet the answer is we're not gonna get an answer.
I bet we do, and I bet it's a throwaway. My guess would be they're gonna say something like, "Ah, they left to go to Switzerland or something. They live there now." I don't know.
Cora fell apart because she's a digital person in the real world.
Yeah, she became AI. Now she's Siri.
Oh, oh.
But yeah,
Uh,
hey man, how you feeling about this movie? Do you have any more trivia, or you want to get into our ratings?
I do have some trivia. Yeah,
Ooh,
I already talked about the batteries and the lights and how that was fucking terrible.
yes.
This one's really cool. You'll like this.
Ooh.
So during the disc battle in the
The
games,
games.
the crowd voices and cheering that you can hear are actually the voices of the audience attending a panel at the 2010 San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh,
The
that's neat.
audience was instructed to stomp and chant to prompts shown in the large video screen, and the sound was recorded by text from Skywalker Sound.
I actually really like that. I think that's cool. Yeah.
That is cool. That's a really cool thing to do. Um, early drafts of the script did not feature a role for Alan. He only got put in the movie by a little bit of public outcry from the actor Bruce Boxleitner. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Bruce Boxleitner. And then yeah, fans of the original were like, "We want Alan," and so they put in a little bit of Alan. And I guess Alan also is in the cartoon that neither of us have watched, Tron Uprising.
Mm,
I don't know. And then
interesting.
this one's just like general movie trivia. This, I don't know if this is still true, but at the time, this was the most expensive film ever made by a first-time director.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's crazy. By a first-time director, it makes more sense.
Yeah, this is his first feature. Like I said, he had done like commercials and maybe a music video,
Mm.
and then he got this, and
A real Zack Snyder type.
now he's done Top Gun Maverick, which is peak cinema.
Apparently, F1's really good too.
I enjoyed the F1. Yeah,
Yeah. So I guess he might just be good.
I think this guy's good.
He might just be
I
good at what he
think
does.
I think Bro's him. This is a good movie.
I agree. I really like this.
Sure, the story does lose me at a bit like near the end, and there's certain like details of the plot that it's just like, what? How does that work? Nah, I don't care.
hmm hmm
But man, so we talked about how like the first Tron coasted its way into everyone's hearts by vibes and visuals.
Yeah.
This one's got killer vibes, pretty good visuals, and amazing soundtrack. I fucking love this soundtrack.
It's real good.
Yeah.
So are
Yeah.
you prepared to give it a score?
I think so. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. 4 stars out of 5 stars.
Yeah. I think I'm right there too. I think I'm also going to give it 4 stars. I mean, you already said it. The music is great. I really love the aesthetic. I think it's really cool. It's not what it was in the first movie, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it still looks really
I
cool.
think it's for I think it's for a little better and worse.
Yeah, yeah. It's less unique, but still looks really cool. And I also, the plot, I think there's more plot in this than there was in the first one. It's a little bit more confusing, and I'm not super. I hate Castor, and I'm not a huge fan of Manic Pixie Dream Olivia Wilde. She's like fine, I guess, but she doesn't really do much.
He has points where she's kind of like that. I mean, she does compare herself to a dog, but have some confidence, lady.
Yeah, honestly.
She is kind of just that like childlike wonder. She's just very cute attitude.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that there's charm that carries her through.
There's definitely some charm there. I'm not like a huge fan, but I think she's fine. But Jeff Bridges is really great in this in both roles. I like Sam. I think he's good. I like Alan. Like, there's a lot of positive of this movie. I thought we were coming into this and it was going to be like very negative. I remember people not liking this movie, and I think those people might have just been pessimists. This is fine.
It takes people time to appreciate Tron. We're 2 for 2 right now, I think.
Yeah, I think this is really good. Like I really enjoyed this. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy Ares, but like, to be fair, my only reason for thinking that is because of the actor.
Yeah. We'll see. Who knows?
Is he like the main character? Because he's a bad guy, right? Like, he's dressed in evil program armor.
He is Ares. His name is Ares.
Well, yeah, but like Sam's name wasn't Legacy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, is there? Well, I guess what I'm asking is like, is there a human protagonist?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Well,
so like,
not a great sign.
The Evan Peters Dillinger creates Ares, and that's Jared Leto, and he's probably gonna go out there and be like, "I'm evil." Nah, never mind. I don't know. We'll find out.
I can't wait for Jared Leto to say, "I fight for the users," and it not feel earned.
Oh, I'll boo. I'll boo in the theater.
Anyway, so we will be, of course, watching Tron Ares when it comes out. Hopefully that will launch uninterrupted as the next episode of this, right after this current episode. But you can be sure to catch all of our updates on whether or not that's going to happen in the correct time frame by following the channel on Twitter at @RSR_POD, or following me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McGee.
You could follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler 8-bit.
Thank you very much, everybody, and until next time. What did we say last time? We can't say. Well, let's see what's out there. What did we say in the last Tron one?
I don't know. I don't remember. Bye.
Bye. We've heard from the users. Bye.